Hey everybody, Dallas again with Chaos Fragrances. Today we're back with another weekly fragrance rotation video. This is video number 15 and we're going to be going over all the fragrances I wore from last week up until today. So like always, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. Starting off on Wednesday, I went with Parfums Vintage Brilliant Bergamot. So this fragrance is among some of their newer releases that they've brought out within the past couple months. This one is their take on Le Labo Bergamot 22. So I do own that one and I'm a pretty big fan of it. A lot of people consider it as one of the best citrus fragrances for summer, or one of the best bergamot fragrances for that matter. It's very, very high quality stuff. Along with that though is the price. It is on the more expensive side as well. You're going to be paying quite a bit of money for a bottle. So I like that Parfums Vintage came out with this scent here, Brilliant Bergamot, and they did a really good job with this one. I was wearing it for testing purposes, so I'll be doing a full review on this one soon, in which I will tell you my full thoughts on this one, but honestly, this stuff is pretty close. Can I tell the difference between the two? Yeah, I can a little bit, but honestly, the differences are pretty small. If you're looking for a more affordable version of Le Labo Bergamot 22, and even something that lasts a little bit longer than that one does, you're going to want to check this one out. And again, I'll have a full review out for you guys coming up soon, so you can wait for that if you'd like. On Thursday, I went with Nishane Hasabat. So it's been a while since I've worn this one, just because this one doesn't always work the best in the really high heat. There is a lot of depth in this fragrance. There's a ton of oak moss in this fragrance. There is a lot of pineapple like in Aventus, but this one goes in more of a dark direction. And for the really warm weather, this isn't always going to be the best choice. But I ended up wearing it on Thursday just because I was kind of in the mood for it. I went very light on the trigger. I did like 1 to 2 sprays, and I was mostly indoors the whole day. And in that type of situation, it did fine. If I would have been outside in the heat all day and I went with a few extra sprays, that probably would have been a mistake, because I've done that before. I've worn this, on really hot days and been outside, and it really just starts to get annoying, and it's not something I would do again. So for this one, again, 1 to 2 sprays. I stayed indoors most of the day inside the air conditioning, and it worked great for that. Like I've said before in multiple videos, to me, this is an Aventus Extrait. It does kind of have that similarity to Aventus, but a more darker version like I had already mentioned, hence why I call it like an Extrait. Not only is this darker in terms of like the scent profile and stuff like that, but it's also even stronger than Aventus on my skin. This lasts longer and it even projects more than Aventus does on me, which is pretty crazy, because Aventus is one of those fragrances that are, very, very strong on my skin. This one is no exception either. This is an Extrait concentration, and this stuff is just very strong. On Friday, I went with Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne. So I also just uploaded a review on this one. You can check that out. Honestly, I'm really digging this fragrance. When I first got it and sprayed it, I liked it, but I was kind of, almost let down a little bit, just because, I guess I was expecting more for what I ended up smelling. But as I spent some more time with it and I tested it more, I started to like it more and more, to the point that now I'm a really big fan of this stuff. I really like it. I really appreciate it. It just smells very, very high quality. It smells very classy. I love the almond and the mandarin orange mixture. Even though I do really like the scent, I'm probably not going to be wearing it as much as I normally would, just because it's very, very hot outside right now. And this scent, not really fully suited for extremely hot days like that. There is a lot of sweetness in this fragrance, and it's just not going to work as well. But for, climate controlled days when you're inside, this stuff would work great. All in all, I'm really happy with the scent. I'm glad I ended up picking it up, and I'm also glad I gave it some more chances. I kept wearing it, I kept testing it, and now I'm a pretty big fan of it. So that's why I encourage all of you to do. Make sure when you're getting new fragrances and you're trying them out, give it a few wearings. Even if you don't like it after you try it the first time, it might take you a few times to warm up to it and start to like it. And that's the perfect example here with this one for me. First tried it, I wasn't that impressed, but as time went on, I started to really appreciate the scent, and it's something that I really respect. So that's what I wore on Friday, Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne, and again, you can check out that review for more information. On Saturday, I went with Replica Under the Lemon Trees. So this fragrance is one that really, I haven't heard too many people talking about it. I did a review on this one, I think a few months back, and some people seemed interested in it. But ever since then, I really haven't heard anyone talk about this. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe people have and I just haven't seen it, but I really haven't seen it in anyone's scent of the day posts. I haven't seen anyone buying or selling bottles. I haven't really seen it being mentioned in anyone's videos. So I don't know what happened with this one. I think it's a good scent, and it's one that I haven't really mentioned all that much either, but it's one that I kind of forget that I have. I think it's a really nice, pleasant fragrance, perfect for summertime. Very nice citrus in this one, and it has the note of tea, and I'm a huge fan of that note, especially in my summer fragrances. Silver Mountain Water, Nishane Oolong Cha, those are a couple good tea-based fragrance. Gucci Pour Homme 2, that's another one. And this one has that note as well, and there's something about that I just love. I just did a spray of it in the air here, and just smelling it, it just smells so relaxing, so soothing, and that note is something that I believe is underutilized, and for summertime, it's perfect. When it comes to picking a good summer fragrance, you want to get something that's going to cool you off and just kind of refresh you, and tea always seems to do that. Whenever I smell that, it just kind of like calms me down, cools me off, and it's just a good note to have in the really hot days. And like I said, it's in this fragrance and it's done really well. So Under the Lemon Trees, I wore this one on Saturday. If you haven't tried this one, I recommend you do. I mean, it's a really solid fragrance. Not many people are talking about it. Not many people seem to be wearing it. So it's one that I think is worth checking out if you're into that type of fragrance. On Sunday, I went with Atelier Cologne Bergamote Soleil. So we've got another bergamot fragrance in here, and this one is incredible. Another really nice, high quality bergamot fragrance. This one's really hard to beat in the summertime. It is quite a bit different than Bergamot 22 or Brilliant Bergamot. So if you're kind of between those two, they're completely different. So I don't think it's redundant to own both of them. This stuff, very nice, goes in a completely different direction, but I really like it. This one doesn't perform as good, unfortunately, but that is to be expected from, a citrus fragrance. And a lot of the Atelier colognes, their citrus line, they're not going to perform that good, and that's just kind of how it is. But this stuff does smell very nice quality, very refreshing for summertime, and it's one that I like to wear on really hot days. So if you haven't tried this one, again, it's another one I recommend you try. If you like bergamot and you like really nice fresh citrus fragrances, you got to check this one out. On Monday, I went with Coach Platinum. So this is a little bit different here. A lot of these fragrances on this list so far have been like very fresh and bright. This one goes in a little bit of a different direction. This one's kind of more sweet. This kind of has that Coach DNA mixed with some vanilla. So it is on the more warm side of things compared to a lot of the other ones. Basically, the way I've described this one in a review is kind of like taking that Dior Sauvage Ambroxan type of DNA and just putting some vanilla on it. And that's really kind of what this is to me, but I love the smell. I think this stuff is really well done. And honestly, when I got this one a while back, it really impressed me. I love that nice warm vanilla in this scent. It smells great. And I wore this one, again, it was another day where I was inside. I would not wear this outside in the heat right now. It's just way too sweet for that. But for any sort of indoor activities, this one worked great. This one is probably more suited for like spring and fall, kind of those transitional seasons where there's still, a little bit of coolness in the air. There's a little bit of warmth. It's just kind of, in the middle in terms of weather because you have that nice freshness from the Ambroxan and some of the citrus. Then you have some, warmth from the vanilla. So I think it's perfect for days like that when it's just a little bit chilly outside. But nonetheless, this is one that I picked up and I just felt like wearing it, and that's what I did. And I'm glad I did too, because I kind of forgot about this scent. I forgot that I actually liked it, and that's what I wore on Monday, Coach Platinum. On Tuesday, I went with Mancera Lemon Lime. So this is a lemon fragrance, as the name would suggest, and this stuff is really nice. So this stuff is obviously a lemon fragrance, right? There's no surprise there. And if I had to describe it in one way, kind of smells like a lemon drop candy. If anyone out there is familiar with those, that's basically what it smells like. And honestly, you may be like, oh, why would I want a fragrance that smells like that? But this stuff is really nice. I put this one off for the longest time as well, until I ended up actually getting a sample of it. After I tried it, I ended up getting a bottle immediately just because I liked it. On top of that, the performance is also very good. This stuff lasts a long time, and that's something that's kind of unheard of when you're talking about a citrus fragrance, just mainly lemon here being the main note in the opening. You do have some woods in the dry down as well, but for the most part, it is a lemon citrus-based fragrance, and the performance on it is incredible. So if you're looking for a long-lasting, nice lemon fragrance for summertime, you just want to smell good and fresh, like a fresh cut lemon, definitely check this one out. And again, that may sound unappealing to some of you, but just give this one a shot. Trust me, guys. I think a lot of you are going to like this one. So guys, that was it. That was my weekly fragrance rotation. Let me know down below what you guys wore. And also, I got to mention, pretty much all these are available on my website, chaosfragrances.com, offering free shipping on orders over $35. And I've got, over 1,000 different designer and niche fragrances. So it's worth checking out if you want to pick up any bottles. Link down below. So that's it, guys. Make sure you leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I post. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.